Good evening and welcome to a very special edition of Your Manchester. I'm Mark Llewellyn. This is Spot the Dog, and our Belinda is down on Oxford Street at the Palace Theatre for the gala opening night of 101 Dalmatians. Are you there, Belinda?
I am, and it sounds like there's people whistling already for the dogs. I don't know what's going on, but it sounds fantastic. It's a lovely evening. How's your day been, Mark?
It's been lovely, thank you. A bit warm, hasn't it? But after all the rain, we mustn't grumble.
No, it's been nice. It's definitely not fur coat weather. I did have a fur coat that I was going to wear, but I changed my mind.
Was it made of Dalmatian?
I'll take the 42nd on that, or 5th, or whatever you call it.
I'm pleading the 40th or whatever. Right, so we've got a fabulous gala night there at the Palace. You're going to be in the celebrity audience tonight. Do we have any idea who else is on the red carpet?
We don't, but we are all here for the expectation of a beautiful performance from Kym Marsh, obviously known from Corrie and Hearsay, and she's taken on a very evil role, and I believe it's quite different Cruella de Vil that we're going to be seeing.
Oh, really? Different Glenn Close?
Exactly. It's not going to be Glenn Close, apparently. Now, you've got a bit of history about 101 Dalmatians, haven't you?
Yes, so it was the original book was written by a lady called Dodie Smith, who was born in Whitefield and brought up in Trafford. Her other big hit, well, she had lots of books, but her other big hit was Dear Octopus. And of course, 101 Dalmatians was made into the film in the early 60s. Now, Pongo, the lead dog in the show, that was actually the name of one of her 9 dogs. And she was inspired to write it when somebody said of her dogs that they were so lovely, the fur on them was so gorgeous, they might make a good coat. And that gave her the idea.
That sounds fantastic. I'm going to head over here now, just in case anybody tends to pop up. Now, this is the area we like to call the press area. I don't normally get close to it, to be honest. They normally just ignore me, but I'm giving it a whirl. And we're waiting for the arrival of quite a few celebrities. Obviously, a lot of people from Corrie want to come and see this because they want to see Kym.
Yeah.
But who's going to be here, we just don't quite know.
Right. Well, I should imagine a lot of people will turn up just to see you, of course, out on the street.
Well, you know, you say that, and I know you're being ironic, but I did just literally walk up the street and had to have my picture taken with a few people.
Did you? Not the police?
They were wearing black and white. Could it be?
Oh, they could be coming to the show tonight, perhaps.
Well, it's quite possible, isn't it?
It certainly is. Now, you're at the Palace Theatre there, probably the biggest theatre in the city centre. Also Victorian theatre that's had a few changes over the years. Now, there's a blue plaque on the front of that theatre to Les Dawson. Which
there is. It's just over here.
It is, unveiled by my partner. So if you could
there
give that
is.
a polish.
It says Les Dawson, 1932 to 1993, comedian, author, and water rat.
That's right.
Educate me.
The Water Rats is a charity that's based at the Water Rat pub in Gray's Inn Road in London, and it's singers, comedians, and so on all belong to that and raise money for charity. And they all wear a little gold rat in their lapel so that you can tell who is a member. And Les was one of the head of those. Someone is elected King Rat every year, and there's a ladies' organisation, the Lady Ratlings.
That's fantastic. What do we know about the story of 101 Dalmatians, Mark?
Well, so you mentioned Cruella de Vil, the villain there, and Cruella de Vil gets her name because it's the words cruel and evil make up the name. And of course, she lives in a house called Hell Hall in the story, and she is after lots of dogs, of course, to turn into beautiful coats.
Wow.
The musical you're seeing tonight made its debut 2 years ago at the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre with music and lyrics by Douglas Hodge. So we'll be joining Belinda back on the red carpet very shortly. But this week I have enjoyed the sunshine and been out for a walk through Stamford Street in Ashton-under-Lyne. Have a look. The imposing building behind me is what used to be, at least, the Free Library and Technical School of Ashton-under-Lyne. You can always tell what the Victorians thought of a town by how much money they put into these places. And it's a rather impressive building, isn't it? So for this week's walk, we're in Ashton-under-Lyne. And of course, like many towns of the Victorian and Edwardian period, there were lots of theatres. Just on the street behind me, which is called Oldham Road, which leads up from Ashton-under-Lyne to Oldham, oddly enough, there were two notable theatres. Some of you may even have been to one of them, the Tameside Hippodrome, which was closed just a few years ago. And right opposite was another theatre in which a young lady started her career, and she was called Shirley Broadbent. She changed her name and she became Amanda Barry, yes, who appeared in Coronation Street and perhaps best known as Cleopatra in Carry On Cleo. And she appeared there, her grandfather being the owner of the theatre. Today there are no theatres apart from amateur theatres in Ashton-under-Lyne, but there are rumours, constant rumours, that the Tameside Hippodrome might reopen one day. We'll have to see. Well, this is what you do with a swimming bath. Behind me is what was the main swimming baths for the town. Beautiful red brick building, swimming baths, public laundries, all the rest of it. It sat empty and neglected for many, many years. As I said, not many windows, so it couldn't be made into apartments or anything like that. So what they did was they put a whole structure inside it. They kept the integrity of where the baths were, and they put a whole business hub in there. So lots of businesses operate from there, lots of community groups use it for meetings and so on. It's also used occasionally for filming. And that is what you do with the swimming baths. Now, of course, I say we're walking around Ashton-under-Lyne, and we are. I can't show you everything in just a short walk. We've literally walked along one main street, Stamford Street. And that's not the main street used today. It was the main shopping street in the Victorian and Edwardian period, hence the beautiful buildings. There's one notable shopkeeper, and behind me were the family of Brooke, who were tea merchants. And now the most famous of the family was Arthur Brooke, who was born in 1845 and brought up here. Now in 1869 he took over the business and he went national, if not global, because he added a fictitious partner to the business, and that allowed him to change the name to Brooke Bond. You may well have heard of it. And in 1869 he opened his first major store on Market Street in Manchester, and off they went, and before long he was earning an absolute fortune. Now up until then, tea wasn't really blended, and you couldn't be certain that when you went back to the same wholesaler or retailer the following week to get more tea, it would taste exactly the same as what you'd had the previous week. Arthur Brooke blended tea, and he was able then to sell his own concoctions, and because he had the recipes, he would make sure that the same stuff was sold week in, week out. You knew what you were getting. There was consistency, which was a new thing. He is also credited by some with developing the tea bag by mistake, because he used silk pouches that the tea was actually sent in to wholesalers with, but we don't know. You may also know, of course, then for PG tips, and that was the tips of the leaf of the tea, and PG, pre-digestive, and you would take tea before a meal so that it will settle your stomach, ready for the food. All started here. And we finally reached the conclusion of our walk at the other end of Stamford Street, named after the Earl of Stamford, the local landowner, of course. And you get glimpses, don't you, in amongst those buildings of what it would have been like in an earlier period with those bustling shops, beautiful buildings still standing. Some, of course, empty today, but some beautiful architecture. So we go from the swimming baths, where you get clean, to the church, where you get cleansed. And behind me is the parish church, St. Michael and All Angels, parts of which date back to the 13th century. In fact, there's two churches here. Right opposite me is also Christ Church, and we have the town's war memorial as well. So everything was encompassed along Stamford Street. Lovely little walk, I've been moaning about the rain for the last few weeks. Look, glorious sunshine as well. I'll see you next time for another walk. Well, we enjoyed our walk, didn't we, Charlie? Yeah. Now, he's waiting to watch the 101 Dalmatians, of course. Now, while we wait for Belinda to line up our next star guest, let me tell you a bit about the Palace Theatre itself. So it seats 1,955 people, or you might know if you've been there. It's a very large theatre, the Grand Old Lady of Oxford Street, as it's known. But it actually seated over 3,500 people when it was opened in May 1891. It's had a couple of refurbs over the years by legendary theatre designer Frank Matcham and then Bertie Crewe. And in 1940, it took a direct hit, a bomb hit it. And in the 1970s, with audiences declining, it came under threat. There were even plans to talk about demolishing it. Thank goodness it didn't. Can't imagine Manchester without the Palace Theatre. And we mentioned earlier the blue plaque outside there, unveiled by my late partner Roy Barraclough, also known, of course, as Les Dawson's partner, but Alec Gilroy in Coronation Street. Tonight's a very Corrie night, and I can see now that Belinda is just about to talk to Coronation Street actor, plays Tyrone, and that is Alan Halsall.
Oh, hi.
Looking forward to tonight? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, honestly, we can't wait to watch this show. We've all come dressed in our black and white frocks, and we're just looking forward to watching Kym, obviously, belt out some numbers as Cruella.
Was it one of your favourites as a child?
Absolutely. I think it's one of everybody's favourites, isn't it? So to see it in this format, I think it's going to be magical.
Are you a big fan of the musical?
Oh, absolutely. My daughter is the biggest fan of musicals.
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
Amazing. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Everything?
Everything.
I'm excited.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is she going to follow in your footsteps?
I think she wants to do musical theatre. She's obsessed. So every musical, I'm being dragged along, but luckily I love them.
So,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. Cheers. Take care. There we are. Wonderful. Alan Halsall there. And his lovely daughter, who apparently is going to be following in his footsteps. So that's quite exciting too, isn't it?
Very exciting. Hope you didn't put her off.
I didn't well.
You put her off.
There's a few gone in already for this. It is quite the buzz to see so many people arriving for this. It's a nice feeling. Of course, it's a new musical. Well, certainly to Manchester, and it looks like Manchester come out in force for it.
Absolutely.
Which is great.
And what are you looking most forward to this evening?
I want to see how they're going to do it. 101 Dalmatians, obviously a very well-known story. I want to see how they're going to get with the feel of the story, what kind of music they're going to be delivering, and basically what they're going to be bringing to our Manchester audiences.
And I just hope one of the dogs doesn't wee all over you.
Really?
Well, I don't hope that, to be honest, but, you know, I was being nice.
Fair enough. There seems to be a little bit buzz around here at the moment. Do you know what I feel like I'm doing?
Well,
Channel 4 F1 racing, where they do the pit lane. That's what. Don't go too far back, Stephen. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh, watching Kym play somebody evil.
It's going to be good, isn't it?
It's going to be dead good.
I've
heard it's very high camp, and all of the costumes are amazing.
We like high camp.
Yeah, we do love high camp.
Musicals for you? Do you like musicals?
No,
Okay.
I don't like musicals, which is why I actually can't wait to see Kym in this, because I know I'm going to love this one.
You're going to enjoy this
Yeah,
one?
I'm more of a play kind of girl.
What do you know about the actual film itself?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm not a Disney girl.
You're in for a treat, aren't you, tonight?
in for a treat, yeah.
You're in for a treat. Full high camp and Kym Marsh as well.
Kym bloody Marsh!
Can we just bring your mother in quickly? Because
Oh, come here.
look at the glamour, please. Thank you very much. Clearly runs in the entire family. I'm feeling quite outglammed. I really am. No, I know, but I bet it's took me a lot longer. Hey, I tell you. Craziness. Enjoy the night. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. There we are. It's exciting.
marvellous. We're getting lots of texts in from viewers asking, who are you wearing tonight?
Who am I wearing tonight? This is a little artist called Georges Azdar. Yes.
Excellent. It's
I've
lovely to see them
discovered
work
this new
out.
material, I have to say. And
Is
it's
it
just
polyester?
stunning. I was wearing something else before, but it wasn't going to be very comfy.
Right. Is that your real
We're
face?
here. I mean, we're just... Sorry?
Is that your real face?
Yes, it is. If we just turn around, you can see the length of the crowd already outside this beautiful, beautiful theatre. They're all coming in, maybe for a cool. Who knows? I imagine a lot of Coke will be sold tonight.
I beg your pardon.
I imagine a lot of Pepsi and Cola will be sold tonight.
Yes, they'll all want their tongues in a tub tonight, won't they?
They will, yes. Licking the cream out.
Yes.
And there's an ambulance.
I thought it was your security entourage. Now, hearing that ambulance or police siren there, we just want to say actually thank you to one of our fabulous sponsors, C&D Security. Now, C&D Security, well, they do all kinds of stuff. They help police and everything, but they really look after an awful lot of the night spots along Canal Street and keep it nice and safe. And they made the press this week because their eagle-eyed security doorman actually recognized somebody on Canal Street who was wanted by the police. And police are incredibly grateful, thank them. And it just shows you that having the right people there with the right knowledge, keep an eye out, keeps us all safe. So well done to everybody at C&D Security. Now, let's have a look. Belinda's got another Coronation Street star. That's El Mulvaney, who plays, I think, Amy Barlow.
We are scouting for people to be here. I think we've got a Barlow. Can we borrow you? 101 Dalmatians, you looking forward to it?
Oh, so excited. So excited.
This is a weird one because we don't really know what this is going to be on stage. What do you think it's going to be? What are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to Kym, obviously. I think she's going to be amazing. Also, just like the singing, the songs, the acts, I think that would be great. But I don't know. I've tried to avoid spoilers and stuff because obviously they've been touring for a little bit. Yeah. So I've tried to stay away from it. So hopefully it'll be a really, really good surprise.
And of course, Cruella de Vil, quite an evil character. Would you like your character to get a bit more evil?
Or would I like my... I don't know. I feel like part of me is like, yeah. But then the other part of me thinks, no, keep it wholesome for now. But obviously, I mean, being a Barlow, you never know, do you?
You never know.
I think we've all been in jail, so...
Get yourself in there and enjoy yourself.
Thanks
so much for your time. Thank you.
Could you introduce us to your next celebrity, please?
Yeah, I could.
Do you think they're bypassing you at all?
Well, we know that a few got in before we were, when we were outside.
Yes.
They just went straight in.
Yes.
But the answer is no, I can't. Mr. Cotton, Cruella de Vil,
Hello.
101 Dalmatians. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I've not seen her for a few months. Kym,
Yes.
not Cruella.
Right.
I've never met this Cruella.
Lovely. What is that spot? Well, we've lost the connection with Belinda and Anthony Cotton. I'm afraid we'll try and re-establish that in just a few moments, the joys of live television. While we establish the link, don't forget that we are doing a live version of Your Manchester on stage as part of Manchester Pride on Sunday, the 25th of August. And that's on the Alan Turing stage in Sackville Gardens. We've got lots and lots of guests, lots and lots of singing. Sue Devaney from Coronation Street will be on the show. And then towards the end of the show, we will be presenting this year's Your Manchester Icon Award, which we are presenting to Barbara Knox, MBE. So don't forget that. Also, we're just going to go back to Belinda in just a second. Don't forget, if you want to sponsor the show, if you want your products on it, you want to advertise with us, then you could drop us a line at contact us at your Manchester. That's contact us at your MCR. Or if you go to yourmcr.com, you'll find all the details on there. So I'm told Anthony's just gone into the theatre, but we're going to go back to Belinda, who is also about to go in. So can we see you?
Let's do a proper sign-off then, like we normally do, because it's been fantastic being here. I know you've given some history about what's going on with the where it all comes from.
Yep.
That's the theatre bell. That's the sign we all wait for as an audience. We are excited, and of course, if you check out tomorrow morning, you'll find my review for it. In the meantime, Mark, handing back to you. This is me signing off from the Palace Theatre.
So thank you all. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of Your Manchester.
of celebrities.
Just to let you know that the images we're getting are quite pixelated at times. You do look quite good pixelated.
Get to
Oh, I bet Selena Scott never spoke to bloody Frank Broth like that.